Well, g'day guys, welcome back. It's the Backyard DIY guy, and today what I want to show you is how to clean up and paint some of the suspension components from the front end of the car. If you've been watching my previous videos, you'll see that I have been pulling them off and looking to do some maintenance, replace the bushes and those sorts of things. So while I've got them off, I thought this might be a good opportunity to clean them up and just give them a good coat of paint. They've come in black, that's the standard color out of the factory, and I'm just simply going to return it to that color. So all right, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about the radius bar here. I'm talking about the lower control arm, and also the sway bar, which I've taken off and it's in the other part of my shed. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll step it out. Okay, so the first thing we need is Kenko Shift It. It's a good product to take the grease and grime off. Grab a scrubbing brush and start scrubbing. Make sure you get into all the little gaps underneath and around the sides, because the dirt and the dust and the grease are the things that will stop the paint from sticking to the surface. So it's just a matter of working your way along each piece, starting here with the control arms. These are quite dirty. Rinse them off with some water and then start the next component. Now with the Z bars, making sure that you scrub every little bit. Once you're done there, make sure they're all rinsed off, and then you can come along. I like to use mineral turpentine and a rag. I put it into a bottle, a spray bottle, so I'm able to spray it on. So when you're doing that scrubbing with the Kenko before, it's not going to remove everything. So the terps is a good way just to get rid of the extra stuff. It really does dissolve the dust and the grime and the oils that have built up over time. Give it a good rub back. Really important to make sure that you've removed all these bits that have built up over the years. As I said before, it really will stop the paint from sticking in the long term. Get in there and give everything a good rub. You can see it coming off there on the rag. There we go. Get in there amongst those saddles. Make sure you have a good look at them to make sure you've got all the stuff off as best you can. Just like that. And done. Okay, so once we've done that, we move on back into the workshop, and just to give it an added bit of scrubbing, we use a wire wheel. Get in amongst everything. You know, there's going to be a bit of rust that's built up that terps isn't going to remove, so get in there with the wire wheel and just hit it and take it back. Again with the control arms, wire wheel it, and that will remove all the excess. I like to make sure that I'm getting everything off, because when you're going to all this effort, there's really no point in cutting corners. Even the nuts on the Z bars and the washers. Saddles have got a little bit of grime on them, a little bit of rust, so I'm just taking that off as well. Make sure you're wearing your safety glasses, because the wire wheels can be quite dangerous and you need eye protection. Okay. So I'm just finishing off now with a A little bit of a sanding pad. I'm just taking it back just to finish it off. You don't really need to do this, but I like to just give it a roughened surface so the paint's going to stick to this even better to the steel. Once you've done this, make sure you give it a good blow off with an air compressor, or you can give it another wipe down with a rag. So I'm not needing to do the underside there, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. There we go, just about done. Yep, and the control arms. Or should I say spray bar? There we go. Just roughening that surface. Not bad. Pretty happy with that. Next job now is to give it that final rinse before we do the paint. So this is just to take off any of those little bits of still left on there after we've done the wire wheel, because the air compressor didn't quite get it off. So I'm just going to give it a rinse with some soapy water. This is just also to get that terps residue off as well. Once we've done this, it's right to go for paint. Now look, I perhaps tend to go a bit overboard with my preparation, but I think preparation is key for anything automotive. When it comes to repainting a surface, it's very important just to make sure that the surface you're about to paint is properly prepared for the automotive paint, because although it might look beautiful and shiny at the beginning, it won't be very long before it starts to peel and flake off because the surface isn't being quite prepared properly. So there we go, just a matter of rinsing them off with a bit of water, and they're all pretty much ready to go for paint. Here's the water, just give a bit of a spray down. It's fresh water out the tap, it's fine. And the saddles, we've got those, important to do them too. And then good to go for painting. Rightio, so I've hung the sway bar up. I'm using a VHT chassis black gloss paint. Make sure you put your breathing mask on. I'm going to start with the sway bar just hanging off a piece of string, or actually it's wire. Give it a good shake up, give it a test spray, and I like to give it probably 3 coats. The manufacturer's instructions on the can suggest 3 coats. First coat being an initial coat where you're just getting a reasonable sort of a soft coverage, you're not going overboard. And then once you've done that, you can come on with the last 2 coats, which can be slightly heavier. Important not to give it too much though, because it will run. So make sure you're not too close when you're spraying. Just, probably about 30 centimeters back, or a touch closer if you like, and then start spraying. So just finishing off now with those 2 control arms, making sure we get down the sides and up and under and through in the gaps. We don't really want to get any paint on those on the bushes that are on there. I've taped all that up, so there shouldn't be any way the paint's going to get in there. Okay, I'm just going to spray paint those washers as well on the Z bars. And then once we've done that, we let it dry, probably for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, just to touch on. Thanks for watching.